Just before the episode gets underway, I want to take the chance to ask you to support Reimagining Cyber by following or subscribing to the podcast. Also, if you can, why not leave us a rating and a review? It really helps other cybersecurity-minded folk find us. So, follow, subscribe, rate and review. Now, on with the show. Hello and welcome to Reimagining Cyber. My name is Ben, and if you listen closely, you can probably hear the sound of sleigh bells in the distance. That is, of course, Santa Claus preparing for his busiest time of the year. And he's not the only one getting ready for action, because every November and December, cyber criminals start to ramp up their activity to take advantage of the peak shopping season, and this year is no different. In fact, the playbook has evolved. They're making the most of overloaded retailers and stressed employees to maximise their impact. With me, as always, is senior security analyst Tyler Moffat. Hi Tyler, how you doing?
Doing well, thanks for having me on.
So, Tyler, I gave an idea as to what's behind this, but put some flesh on the bones for me.
Yeah, so I would say three main reasons. Seasonal distraction, right? People are multitasking. They're taking care of, Christmas, holiday season, whatever they're celebrating. They're ordering tons and tons of online, tracking packages, booking travel, moving fast, right? It's easier to trick them with fake emails or texts. Like the normal level of scrutiny is essentially lowered. Beyond that, there's retail supply chain pressure. So criminals hit retailers and logistic providers during peak volume. They disrupt shipping in December. Victims pay ransoms quicker because you can't have downtime if you're a shipping company during Christmas time and the holidays. Absolutely not. So it's much higher chance of them just paying that ransom real quick to sweep it under the rug, be done with it, and continue operations. And then the next is credential harvesting during Q4. This is when they probably collect the most logins. And January is a massive period for new account fraud. Gift card draining, tax refund, you name it, new year. So they're gathering it all right now.
So it's all interconnected then. Peak shopping becomes peak cybercrime.
Yeah, basically. Attackers have entire playbooks specifically for the holiday calendar.
So you've hinted at it. Let's talk about what's different this year. What is it that attackers are doing now that they weren't doing last year?
Well, a lot's evolved, and it's not like they necessarily weren't doing it last year. It's just things are getting better, more sophisticated, ramping up. So AI, of course, got to mention AI.
I've heard of it.
Yeah. It's a big one. But the attackers can scrape inboxes, after a credential theft and then send fake problem with delivery emails using the exact store name or exact item the victim ordered. You can see generic, your package is delayed. That's been used for years now, but it references an actual Lego set or an actual $150 coat or whatever you bought. It can reference that. So it's way more sophisticated to know what it is exactly you've purchased. And that's a level of sophistication we haven't yet seen, right? Another is deep voice messages for misdelivery. They're using voice cloning to imitate, UPS or Amazon customer service saying, we couldn't verify your address, with a clone support voice. And then they get, a number to call back, get pulled into a multi-factor reset scam is usually where that ends up. Also retail employees impersonation on LinkedIn's. They basically create a fake recruiter account to target seasonal workers, right? They send links for fake onboarding or portals that harvest credentials. I've seen some scams like saying you need to pay money to process your application to get hired, or you have been hired, just pay this quick $30 or whatever, or $10 to process your application, which is just silly. And of course, they don't take $10 to $15, $20. They take way more, but you got to watch out for stuff like that. I mean, it's on LinkedIn, right? They know seasonal workers use weaker personal email and passwords and stuff like that. And so next would be gift card drain automation. Bots can now scrape thousands of gift card numbers that essentially have been leaked from weak point of sale systems, and then try to balance check them, with APIs and do it at scale, all automated. And so holiday gift card fraud is going to be big and going to be automated. And I would say finishing this off, new info stealers disguised as holiday discount apps. I'm sure we've all maybe installed some extensions into your browser that give you coupons on whatever website you're at. But this is similar to Luma style, if we talked about with Nastiest Malware, where it's essentially ransomware as a service info stealers disguised as browser extensions that promise like coupons and coupon stacking, AI price prediction. Once installed, they essentially just lift cookies, browser sessions, crypto wallets, whatever they can get on, basically.
Let's go a bit deeper on retailers there. You track retail attacks year round. What specific trends are you seeing during the holiday surge?
So retail, they get hammered every Q4. So here's what stands out. Credential stuffing on loyalty accounts. So attackers will use giant breach, like the data dumps from those breaches, to target loyalty programs. So like airline miles, hotel points, store rewards. They get drained fast because consumers rarely really check them. And then usually don't remember any of the usernames or passwords, and they just store and save them in the browser, which can be scraped super easy with malware. Fake return fraud on hacked accounts. So criminals will break into accounts, initiate holiday returns, and then redirect the refund to their own cards. It's almost impossible for retailers to detect that during peak season because they're processing so many legitimate returns that it just flies under the radar. Next would be ransomware on distribution centers. So I hinted at this earlier, but groups like, Black Suit, Play, they target warehouses, not storefronts, but the supply chain through it, right? It's because if a distribution center goes down for even a day in December, like millions of losses, and so the retailers will often pay to get that taken care of ASAP and everything back up and running. So business email compromise in vendor payments, also big. So threat actors will essentially spoof suppliers and get retailers to, reroute December invoice payments. So the holiday rush plus overloaded finance teams is like perfect opening for wire fraud to get it resolved fast and it not seem like it's a big thing that needs to be scrutinized, if that makes sense.
What about smishing? Feels like package texting scams explode this time of year.
Absolutely. Text-based scams are bigger than email during the holidays now. And so the fake shipping notifications, you've missed a delivery, package is held at warehouse, if you got to pay a custom fee to release your item, they know people are waiting for multiple packages and maybe some are delayed legitimately. And so they prey on that. If you're waiting around for something and you don't have it and they're like, oh, this text is my ticket to get that package. So the success rate just skyrockets, right? UPS, United States Postal Service, Royal Mail, FedEx, spoofing, all this stuff. Attackers use branded templates and short links. So if you click it, it prompts for a credit card or a social security number or some other multi-factor authentication login, right, to go and pay for this. You need to pay a customs fee or whatever. Poisoned QR codes at drop boxes. Attackers will physically go up to and get a sticker that they made and place QRO stickers over real ones on package lockers, right? And so the scanning sends you to a fake sign-in portal where you give, whatever information they want. And beyond that, mobile malware disguised as package tracking apps. So there are some malicious APKs out there that actually track packages correctly, but in the background will steal SMS messages to intercept your multi-factor authentication code. So those ones are pretty sneaky because it does actually provide a legitimate function and you can verify. Like a lot of people may download an app and be like, I don't know if this is legit or not. Test to verify that it does what they want and then go, oh, okay, it's legit because it does what I want. But in the background, silently, it's then it's treasonous on you, and stealing those SMS messages. If you never set up any MFA and you just have SMS codes, which a lot of people still do, especially retail, and so that's what they're going after.
Okay, do the criminals themselves operate differently during the holidays?
Yeah, I would say their patterns definitely shift for sure. So higher frequency, shorter campaigns. So everything becomes like smash and grab. Campaigns run 2 to 5 day shotgun bursts, if that makes sense. Increased collaboration across criminal groups. So actors will share brand new phishing kits because nobody wants to waste time making their own during peak season. So they'll literally just share, hey, look, here's the latest update, holiday update. Here you go. More outsourcing. So bot services and phishing as a service, they see massive user spikes. Even low skilled actors can just get in the game, right? Don't even know anything and just fill out, where do I want my money to go? What do I want to impersonate? Here's the brand, and everything's supplied to them. The copy, the wording, the the correct branding of who you're spoofing. All that's provided for you. You don't have to do any of that yourself, you know. Also, cryptocurrency cash out spikes. So stolen funds need to be laundered before, you know, prices jump, anticipated at least in December, January. That's usually what happens a lot of times in stocks and just, you know, liquidity in general. A lot of people like to cash out during the holiday season, right? And so this leads to a surge in mixers and crypto tumbling services. Also, attackers target holiday charity campaigns. Fake donation sites are a huge trend right now. Those QR codes, you're like, go up and put a QR code on top of that, you know, Red Cross or Salvation Army saying donate here. Pretty, like, we're talking bottom of the barrel ethics here, but they don't care, right? Threat actors will clone a charity page and it tap some crypto address, you know, whatever they can to get victims to donate, thinking they are helping children or food banks or whatever it is.
So let's finish with some practical tips then. What would you like businesses and MSPs to take away from this?
Yeah, it's a good thing to be concerned about because, you know, whether you're a retail end user, consumer, you're going to be, we know people are going to be shopping, you know, on work time in a work environment. And so you got to watch out. And I would say lock down employee multi-factor authentication and enforce resets around December. It can help, you know, counter credential stuffing. I would run a quick anti-phishing training refresher, like even just a 15-minute one. It helps cut risks dramatically, right? It's not 100% coverage thing, but it does at least help a quick download and get people a little more vigilant, right? Monitor possible travel, new device logins daily, right? Holiday credential theft always ties to, you know, session hijacking. Freeze vendor payment changes during peak shopping weeks. This is a big one if you expect lots of payments and invoices during this time. No new bank accounts added during December. Make sure, like, let them know. Get it ready. And especially if you've never seen a change over the whole year, like if there's a change all of a sudden in December, like that's a huge red flag. I would say also retailers should segregate distribution centers. You know, don't let ransomware attack take out your entire shipping pipeline.
So it is very much Santa Claus versus the cyber criminals out there. I know whose side I'm on. Tyler, thanks for breaking down the new threats and tactics.
Yeah, always happy to help out and share. You know, this is one of the busiest times for defenders, so it's important that we talk about it because, you know, this is safer people can stay.
Finally, here's a top tip for those of you who do work in the cybersecurity sector. If your office is taking part in the Secret Santa tradition this year, I've got an idea for the ultimate present. Just point them towards the subscribe or follow button on the Reimagining Cyber podcast. I promise you they will be eternally grateful, and also you don't have to put your hand in your pocket. It is very much the gift that keeps on giving. We'll be back next Wednesday. Goodbye.